Dragon Dreams, Book 5, Sacred Phoenix Heart, written by Gina Virginia Casella. Story: Information Overload with Oath, Spaceship Earth, and Fiesty Chipmunks. Oath, Jaguar, Chipmunk, Trees, the Forest. Earth is an open roof spaceship. Spaceship Earth, not planet Earth. Shadow work can be scary. My guides and I have a laugh about my cartoon images of them. In my dream journal, I regularly document my practice of the OATH acronym. The focus shifts from OAT or H, open, authentic, thankful, honors holy instances. And sometimes the focus is a mix of two or three, and sometimes the focus is the whole oath. I send prayers of gratitude to all my clients, even the challenging ones, trusting they will find healing and growth through listening to their personalized audios. Despite life's difficulties, I persist in hope, giving thanks for each new day's blessings. A warm, safe home, food on the table, and the comforts that allow me to stay in and find peace. This period has brought an immense sense of thankfulness. Each morning and night, I am moved to tears by the simple joys of having a roof over my head and a place to stay. I weep with immense gratitude for all I have been blessed with. Yet I weep even more intensely from fear. There is pressure for me to go back to work and take medication. I'm afraid of losing financial support. This is the first time in my life I've wrestled with my well-being, which also frightens me. Moreover, as I've grown older, I no longer feel the same drive I had in my youth, adding to my anxiety. I feel very ripped off and angry, so I want to pause and reflect because I recognize I'm falling into unhelpful thought patterns, which isn't my intention. It makes sense that fear, anger, and financial uncertainty would lead to feelings of anxiety and depression for me. I acknowledge these emotions because they are valid reactions and deserve attention. However, staying objective as I review my life right now requires channeling these feelings in a more focused, constructive way. My heart aches for Gina during her 20s and early 30s as she relied solely on public transit to get around, and especially distressed thinking of young adult Gina's vulnerability during those times. Occasionally, when I see a young woman alone at a bus stop in the dark, I send silent prayers her way. Each morning when I stepped out the door back then, I vividly remember not feeling safe. I recall dreading any car driving by or person walking past. That constant lack of safety deeply affected me. Other challenges like having back pain and the time needed to commute to run errands also weighed heavily. Though I wore headphones, I never listened to music. It was just a prop to avoid interaction out of fear. In reality, I strained to hear everything around me because I felt so unsafe. It took grit for Gina to hold her head high, which I'm so proud of now. Today's Gina, in her early 40s, wants to honor those past versions of herself, for without them, I wouldn't be the amazing person I am now. In my current state, I'm struggling to properly honor them, leaving me feeling depressed. Those eras, my 20s and 30s, and now stand out as exhausting times when I took charge of my life's path through my work. Taking charge shouldn't have meant sacrificing my life and health, though that's how much energy these necessary changes have required. I stay open to the therapeutic process. I can't help but feel excited about my work. I often find myself listening to clients' personalized recordings reflecting on their progress. With three scheduled check-ins, it's challenging not to think about clients between sessions. Listening to their audio helps me feel connected to their journey. I persist in hope and dreams, giving thanks and praise. I pay close attention to the sources providing my food, clothing, and other necessities. My self-awareness is heightened because I recognize that my clients' results reflect on how the public perceives my ability to help people. Therefore, I need to be more selective about offering free sessions. Moreover, ideal clients. I understand that I cannot force clients to take actions like listening to audio recordings or setting themselves up for success. Similarly, Jaguar cannot push us across the bridge, only guide us. Just as I cannot compel clients to book appointments, prepare themselves, or follow through on transformational practices and goals set in sessions. When helping clients, it is about their journey, not mine. However, from a business standpoint, having unsuccessful clients can shape the perception that I am an ineffective therapist. What I realize is that I need to apply this mindset not only to the outside world, but to myself. I must be more open, authentic, and grateful to myself. I need to truly honor myself more with my personal growth. After offering more than 50 free sessions, I'm now charging money and quite comfortable telling folks they're not ideal clients. I've also done lots of business plans and whatnot. I had a website and then switched to the Jane app. Now I just have Facebook. I have a Facebook group at this time called Present Moment Hypnotherapy International. At least when I wrote this. I maxed out. I tried out Google Ads, free promotions, and again, maxed out. Financially, I can't afford to keep investing in PMHI. Jaguar tells me PMHI isn't the focus right now. Writing these dragon dreams is. Then the focus will be profiting from dragon dreams through PMHI. PMHI needed to be established first, so you had a grip on the theta state, and you required all your training as an educator and hypnotherapist, so you could have the knowledge, skills, and experience to write this. Jaguar also tells me that my husband is also a simultaneous focus. Keep going. Keep your focus. Keep checking off the list of the tasks at hand. There are days where the days and weeks bleed together, so when you can do stuff, it's important to do it. You're making progress and you've come very far. Jaguar says he exists in timelessness and yet understands the concept of money and other mortal reasons like why I cry. Jaguar conjures an image of a chipmunk busily gathering nuts to store in the winter. Its daily haul varies, but this yearly ritual is vital. Without adequate provisions, the chipmunk cannot survive the harsh winter season. The industrious creature unwittingly performs another act of stewardship. Many gathered seeds ultimately take root, expanding the very forest that sustains it. So in this simple act of self-preservation, the chipmunk also plants the seeds of future abundance, and this is what I'm doing. In a past life, I was a chipmunk. Chipmunks have a close connection with the wisdom of youth. Each year, instead of gathering nuts and seeds like chipmunks do, I collect skills and training, storing them like a forest storing resources. Clever are the chipmunks, says Jaguar, for they collect more than they need. This illustration makes us think the chipmunks are only hoarding food, when in fact, they are also helping to regenerate the forest and using the trees to build bridges. This is what I do, also with my dreams, as I always take a bite bigger than I can chew, rooted in my catfish days. Long ago, there were so many trees that a chipmunk could travel all of Ireland without touching the ground. Chipmunks aim to restore this interconnected web for many reasons. They recall how tall and wide trees can grow, and how deep and extensive their roots become. By building a forest bridge, the treetops and roots protect all in between, connecting above and below. A dense forest frustrates those who try to extract resources. More green on our planet would nourish our collective heart chakra, and from a distance, more green would replace open space that ETs could perceive as an invitation to land. There are numerous reasons to plant more trees, but the primary one is that forests are our home. Even underwater, forests sustain us. Our forests provide everything we need to thrive, just as spaceships enable ETs to survive their journeys. We are intrinsically connected to our forests. By nurturing forests, we nurture ourselves. When we hear ET stories, they always have to be with their spaceships, because the ET and the spaceships are one, just like we are one with our spaceship Earth. The chipmunks explain that fire serves many important ecological functions. For example, they note that certain species, like jack pine, rely on periodic wildfires to propagate. Jaguar points out that the chipmunks have developed their own ideas about apocalyptic events. In preparation, the chipmunks are willing to help invest resources to ensure the long-term survival of the ecosystem, just as they do every year, and they will continue to do so despite how conscious evolution may alter the ecosystem, including themselves. For the chipmunks are all about the high quality. The chipmunks have a feisty side. They believe this is more their planet than humans is, because they were here first and will outlast humans. They also think that we will be the ones interacting with ETs. They will be the one interacting. They also think they will be the ones interacting with ETs after humans are gone. The chipmunks have mixed feelings about ETs depending on the individual, since ETs have diverse personalities like humans. The chipmunks are open to working with anyone, ET or not. They have various plans in progress, including building a forest to use as a home and defense weapon. They see the forest as having a symbiotic relationship with fire that could benefit them in battle, causing opponents to leave them alone, since attacking would help the forest grow. And if the forest was a weapon, no opponent would support the growth of the weapon, yet they may try to steal and harness the weapon for themselves. The chipmunks theorize that forests could theoretically be stacked on top of one another, forming a forest staircase. There used to be tall mountains that created these staircases, and the chipmunks believe the staircases reached out into outer space and can do so again. This would allow new forests to grow on top of existing ones. The chipmunks envision building such a forest staircase to defend against potential attacks. Planet Earth used to be quite the mountainous terrain, and these tall mountain staircases with oceans of water at all levels and waterfalls supporting all the life within. The combination of rock, water, and root systems made of a secure foundation, and the structure was always in a constant state of rejuvenation. If the opposition tried to invade, the staircase structure would collapse on them. The resulting compost from the collapsed forest would enrich the forest and the home easily repaired or transformed. In this tree forest, no one has a permanent home because everyone is always having fun creating new homes and vacation spots. And so it's not upsetting when a home is destroyed for whatever reason. Any attacks would be a bonus benefiting our forest home. So it would be ideal for the opposition to leave us alone. The chipmunks have a unique perspective on our planet. Rather than calling it planet Earth, they view it as Spaceship Earth, a vehicle transporting all life through the cosmos. They reject the notion of planets, seeing everything as spaceships carrying us back to our primordial home, nested deep within. This open-roofed spaceship we inhabit is special to them. Unconcerned with categories, even gas planets and water worlds lacking land are deemed fellow spaceships. To the chipmunks, spaceships, cells, rocks, crystals, dirt, and dust are essentially the same. Cases, containers, boxes. This outlook compels them to think outside the box to transcend comfort zones, species, and artificial barriers. We must think beyond ourselves and our worldview to truly understand our place in the universe. The chipmunks are also contemplating scenarios that could destabilize the solar system, like the moon leaving orbit or a large meteor impact. They believe keeping the planet forested benefits soil health and facilitates alchemical processes needed by ET visitors. The chipmunks insist that trees are key to spaceship Earth's integrity. Forests, they say, create the conditions for biological life to thrive across the universe. Should the moon, for example, leave, and we all blow to hell, so to speak, then this very planet would break apart. Yet, it would be a beautiful thing, as it would be holding endless seeds, meaning each broken piece would be like seeds scattering, and anything these seeds land on will very much rejuvenate. Essentially, each seed would grow a whole new planet, if you will. So in this way, planet Earth will always prevail. It is a prosperous planet for this reason. The chipmunks says planning reveals an industriousness that surprises me, given how busy they stay gathering resources. Their collaboration with the beavers and elaborate defense strategies show how seriously they consider potential threats to the forest ecosystem on which they rely. This image of the forest staircase is captivating because it depicts the imaginative visions of the chipmunks. Jaguar portrays the chipmunks as aspiring dreamers with ambitious business plans. In their minds, the forest transforms into an open-top spaceship, symbolizing an Earth unbound by our solar system and the confines of the cosmos. The chipmunks care little for money or material things. However, they understand that ETs need resources to construct their spaceships and bodysuits. Disturbingly, some ETs are also abducting chipmunks, exploiting them to create artificial intelligence and hybrids to perform chipmunk labor on their planets. Like cloning experiments, these efforts are failing due to the poor quality of cells. The chipmunks believe each cell contains its own diverse forest, and each forest harbors its own deity. Essentially, they view every speck of dust as a unique cell of potential, like a fertile seed. They only gather high-quality seeds full of promise to nurture new life. On a grander scale, these seeds represent dreams, ease, and hope. Lately, the chipmunks are collecting fewer seeds, as poor quality seeds are more prevalent. We must protect the remaining old-growth forests, the last of the ones to support our rich life. If we lose these ancient forests, all we will have left are unsustainable temporary forests we must replant annually, and the long-term root systems, along with other benefits. Eventually, things would get back on track, assuming the forest was well tended. Despite great floods and extreme weather, assuming we had our ancient forest intact, we would be protected. I feel confused because our conversation has drifted from its original focus. Jaguar mentioned my close relationship with the chipmunk folk, who are attuned to my heartache. My intent was to explore my belief that I'm too preoccupied with chipmunk ways, anxiously gathering just enough each year to survive, living paycheck to paycheck each month. Jaguar says the chipmunks want me to recognize that even as I toiled those years, like them, I planted seeds abundantly, whether I realized it or not. Now I have a vast reserve of inner resources to draw from, a forest of abundance that lives in my dreams and psyche. I need not struggle so desperately anymore. Through a hypnosis session with Jaguar, I smashed the false inhibiting beliefs that chipmunks must work until the day they die. I now know I've been holding on to this false inhibiting belief within myself. As a former chipmunk, I take with me the best of my chipmunk ways while leaving the rest behind. I cry with relief, yet also feel melancholy and a sense of loss, as I have thrived as a clever chipmunk who saw each day and seed as new treasures, like finding gold. Like any chipmunk, I worked until I died, but this is not me anymore, and I can see why I continuously get up when I'm knocked down and how I stay focused, completing tasks to manifest things, always busily working away. And it's one of my high-quality items, one of my many high-quality items from these chipmunk ways of knowing, yet they're balanced now, as I'm now thriving and now in survival mode. The chipmunks want clarification that it is their joy to work until they die, and they perceive this lifestyle as thriving, which is why they over collect what they need and have lots of time to play chasing each other, even enjoying stealing each other's stashes. As a chipmunk, I believe we live on Spaceship Earth. I used to believe this. By growing a forest, we could support all species in the future. The forest would produce enough resources to sustain an upgraded Spaceship Earth. Unlike other ET spaceships or personal artificial body parts that need to acquire external materials, our forest can grow everything we need. Furthermore, once freed from its orbit, Spaceship Earth can propel and steer itself without fuel, harnessing the power of gravity and wind. Moreover, harnessing the power of angles and curves, just as roller coasters and trains effortlessly move around cargo, we tend to worry about the moon leaving us. Yet the moon worries much more about us leaving it, hence its tidal lock on us. Yet we're not locked. We're simply playing along, that we are, at least for now, while we sort it all out. The forest longs for my return, as I had nurtured it by planting seeds and nuts representing hopes and dreams beyond measure. Now I reap the harvest as Gina, queen of the pine tree forest, for whom this magical forest was lovingly nurtured, so that one day I could return and thrive once more. I find this information fascinating and scary. Shadow work and exploring the unconsciousness is not always easy or pleasant. I often feel irritated when others share fanciful meditations about mythical places while I struggled with facing my fears and connecting with my inner self. Over the course of our journey guided by Tara Wild, my spirit guides and I have grown significantly. As water both cleanses and nurtures, I realized that just as flowing water obscures the details below its surface, my hesitance to look closely prevented me from seeing my guides clearly. When presented with an image of a masked mermaid, I felt compelled to see the face behind her disguise. The mermaid wore a mask to spare me fear, as I had never viewed her so closely before. Recognizing her thoughtfulness made me laugh. My spirit guides and I laughed together because I don't have the best handwriting, so they show me images in simple ways that I can capture. They also chuckle about how I portray them inside myself, knowing I'm too fearful to see their true forms. Even if I could draw them accurately, I couldn't handle the intense reality of it. I laugh too, agreeing they're right. They call my drawings cute and remind me not to get stuck on images, since the same archetypes can mean different things depending on who I depict. I ask hopefully if I can help improve my penmanship so I can better capture their likeness. The way I drew the images is also the various child Ginas drawing them, not the adult. The images also need to be simple because the intention is to make a quick little doodle with my journal entry. The hydrotherapy treatment Lefty Lucy set up helped relieve the pain in my right hip and sciatic. As she gently supported my hand, her caring touch made me feel precious. She tells me hypnotherapy works like hydrotherapy in terms of cleansing, healing, and changing. My understanding is that we should respond to life's opportunities with an open heart, connecting to our inner wisdom. This idea often arises in my dreams and readings, reminding me to release worry and trust in life's unfolding. What will be, will be. This means we have the power to shape our lives while also following with what arises. We can co-create with the universe or steer our own course. Both require embracing the interconnection between self and world, just as a tree needs a forest, an organ, a body, or an ocean, or a planet. By opening to each moment with presence, we write our own stories. We are the present moment. By opening ourselves to ourselves and each other, we can co-create. Looking back, I'm grateful for all my guides. The wise and well whale and orca elders guide me on my journey. They remind me that they represent both the beginning and end of my path, and that those 2 points connect to a continuous circle, hence the migratory nature, and the circle is a spiral, as each migration is a step up from the last. Their guidance helped me realize that I'm always linked to their wisdom, just as their unconditional love consistently supports me. My song was heard by them and harmonized. I am harmony.